Good evening. Laura Donnelly here with Strange and Interesting Times, day 194. I'm coming to you from Dancing with Ease, Body Brain Balance, um, and a little bit of technical mishmash. So, the thing I wanted to talk about today was being perfect as you are, being perfect as your imperfect self. And what does that mean? And how do we accept that? Because seriously, I mean, if you're anything like me, you have a list of good things and bad things, things you could do better. And it's not always perfect, but it's exactly perfect for right now. And then there's this next thing that whatever's happening, however things are going, it's exactly right for you for right now. And that is really something challenging to accept sometimes, because sometimes things don't feel like they're going so good. And how can that be the right thing for right now? And what does that mean? And how long do you have to be there in that uncomfortable place before it makes sense? Sometimes a long time is my experience. Because I'm stubborn. I have to tell you, I'm pretty stubborn. So I often think that if I just did something better, changed something, worked harder, fixed this, fixed that, I could fix whatever the situation is and make it better, make it all right, maybe. Nah, not really. I used to think I could make things all right. But then I just ended up, do you see how that's all on me to change things that maybe I don't have any control over? And then I fail at changing them. And then I feel less all right about myself because I took on responsibility for things that were not my things, to change things that were not my things to change. And so then, how do I fix anything? And eventually, I came to the conclusion that if I start with myself and work on myself, everything else kind of falls into place. Partly it falls into place because I quit fussing with it. I quit trying to fix it. And what a relief that was, not to be in charge of the world. It reminded me of my brother when we were kids. He used to say, "You're not the boss of me." He's my little brother. So I thought I was the boss of him. Often I thought I was the boss of him. So what am I thinking about when I think that I'm perfect just as I am? And I think that I don't have to fix things around me, and I don't have to do anything but allow things to be. Now, how does that mean? And that I'm right here, exactly where I'm supposed to be. So sometimes I think we end up in a place because somebody needs a helping hand. And say, if I hadn't gotten delayed at the grocery store, I wouldn't have been at the gas station to help somebody figure out how to use their debit card in the pump. So, somebody who's having a problem. I wouldn't have been there. If everything had gone fine at the grocery store and I'd gotten through the line as fast as I planned, and I'd have been out of town on my way home. And so, because of how things happened, I was somewhere able to do something for someone that I didn't know, that I would never have imagined was in my frame of reference of something I should take care of. So that's just like kind of one example. Another one is I had this job that I thought was my dream job that I had aimed for most of my adult performing career was a teaching job in a university in the dance program. And, I had this fiction in my head that I would work and perform and tour and have a wonderful life, which I did. I did all of that stuff and it was great. It was really great. And then when I was getting a little bit older, I would get a job at this university and I would, there had been a great teacher there when I was young. It was a state school in the state I grew up in. And I had such a good fortune to have this wonderful teacher there when it was my time to go to college. And I got professional quality dance training in a rural Kansas university at a price I could afford. So again, one of my big heart goals was to return there and give back to my state the things I had learned so that I could provide inspiration and training and education for future generations of dancers the way that had been available for me when I was young and starting out. So that's a great idea. And I guested there often. Every time I came back to visit my family, I visited the faculty there. I stayed in touch. I helped students from there if they were looking for a summer internship or something. If I knew something, I helped them connect. And then one year, there was a job opening. I'm like, Actually, I was kind of like, oh, because I had wanted it for a really long time. But in the meantime, I had gotten another job that I thought was an excellent job. And I was really looking forward to it. And it was a fun and interesting job. It was in arts administration in a different dance program. And I thought, okay, I'm done with teaching and I'm going to go this other direction into administration. And I will help new artists develop by providing the space and the resources for them to study, learn, collaborate, create work, and finish their degrees. And then this dream job showed back up. Okay, decisions and choices. Then the administrative job fell apart. The person I had been hired by was leaving. The program was in flux. My position was eliminated. I'm like, oh, heck. Well, okay, I'm going to do this other job. It was right here. It was my dream job anyway. This was the universe telling me, you're not meant for administration, which really I'm not. Seriously not. So I came back and taught. I had 3 years, 3 fantastic fun years. Actually, not really. I had 3 years of which there were great times, and I met some fantastic people. But there were a lot of hideous crap going on. And what I would tell you that I learned, I'm not cut out for university teaching either. If you are supposed to get in line and stay in line and follow certain restrictive protocols that have nothing to do with learning and creativity and exploration and fostering all of those things in young artists, then it's not my job. It's not the job I want. It's not the job I can do. And it's not any place that I belong. And, lo and behold, although I was hired to help grow this program and that my classes were full to overflowing, 35 to 40 students in all the classes I taught, and my dances were well received and all kinds of stuff, there was lots of unpleasant infighting, and the program was reduced to a minor. And last in, first out. A big mess for me. How could this be that I'm in the right place at the right time when my dream job fell apart? Well, okay. First, I had to acknowledge that job was burning heck. The social and emotional stress in that job due to all kinds of unbalanced things within the dynamic, this was not a dream job. This was not a great place to be. This wasn't going anywhere. And there were many things about it I could do nothing about, and there were many things about it that were unhealthy, and there were some things about it that were actually evil and destructive to the students that I didn't support. And by not supporting them, I put myself on the wrong side of the line. And I would do it again. In a heartbeat, I would do it again. Because it was, for me, the ethically right thing to do. Unfortunately, in my opinion, at this point in time, I don't really think ethics and academia are in the same ballpark. Not in the same stadium. Not in the same town, actually, probably. And so, although I was pretty sad and pretty frustrated and pretty unhappy at the time that the program was reduced and the faculty was reduced, my faculty position was reduced. A few years later, I can't tell you how happy I am. How happy I am not to be trying to teach dance in a failing program in the middle of COVID. Now, COVID is going to be making a lot of shifts in the world. Things may have gone away already that we don't realize are gone. We may be hoping they're going to come back. We don't know that they'll come back, but we're hoping they come back. But this sliding down the chalkboard, which is what was going on in that program when I joined it, I can't tell you how happy I am not to be doing that. Playing with ease, sharing ease with people, helping people find a balance in their system so that they are at ease in the world no matter what happens. Man, that is freedom. That is joy. That is happiness. And it's sharing that. And so, although I put myself through a lot of grief about the whole thing, it was the perfect place for me at that time. I met some great people. I had some wonderful adventures. I wouldn't trade any of those, not even to skip the heartache, because the heartache was part of my growth. And sometimes in the middle of the growing, when you're having the growing pains, it's really hard to believe that that's a good thing, that it's a useful thing. And at the time it was happening and my job was disappearing and people were saying to me, oh, but you can do anything. You're so talented. And I'm like, but I don't want to do anything. I want to do this. Well, that's what I thought. See how tense that makes me? Doing that was not what I wanted. It was what I thought I wanted. And in reality, if I check in with my body, what I'm doing now is what I want to do. And I might not have been there and I might not have done that if that job hadn't fallen apart out from under me. And so I have all these surfboard metaphors, falling off your surfboard, getting on your surfboard, whatever. That life is unpredictable. Oh yeah, Dale. Yeah. It is, I'm afraid, heartbreak is part of our growth. I might wish it wasn't, but afterwards, I can say, if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here where I am. And here where I am, I can feel is a good place. And that all happened because of the steps that came before it. Even the falling down steps. Even the tearing the ACL step. Yeah, it's just how it goes. So, what can you do when you're in the middle of this thing that doesn't feel right? Reflection, yeah. And sometimes you can't reflect in the moment. So when my job was ending, and I knew it for, did I know it a whole 2 semesters? Yeah, I think I knew it for 2 semesters, and I had to teach for 2 semesters. And sometimes I would go into the studio and I would say to my students, I need you to know that I am angry and I am frustrated and I am sad. And I am angry and frustrated and sad about things I can do nothing about. I can do a few things. I can take a stand. I can make an offer. I can make a suggestion for a really creative solution. I did all of those things. But I have no control over the people I make this offer to if they will accept the offer. No control. And I said to my students, I said, I hate that. But guess what? Right now, we're going to not think about that. Right now, we're going to turn on the music and we're going to be right here, right now, and we're going to dance. And we're going to dance the best that we can. And I'm going to teach the best that I can. Because no matter what I imagine is going to happen in the future, honest and truly, what I have is right now. Right this moment. And even if this moment is icky, squishy, not comfortable, I can still scan for ease and I can find a little bitty place that's not quite as uncomfortable. And when I do that, that little space of ease gives me a little space to breathe. And then I can keep going until I get far enough down the road that I can look back and reflect. And then I can open the box, which is the gift of reflection. Dale, my friend Dale, writes beautifully, and she has kind of a way of putting words. I love that. It's the gift we get upon reflection. So, we're perfect as we are with all of our imperfections. It's just who we are right now, exactly how we're supposed to be. And we're right where we're supposed to be. No matter how uncomfortable the shoes we find ourselves in, how uncomfortable the piece of life we find ourselves in. It's a challenge. It's a learning. It's something that we need to go through. And one of the things I had to go through was realizing that my dream job wasn't my dream job. I swear to God, you guys, I spent years imagining that job. And I was so excited my whole first year when I got it. I was so happy that I irritated everyone I knew. And I was so excited not to be working 40 or 45 hours a week at a desk, but working in a studio again, that I worked twice as hard as everyone else, and I had billions of energy. That upset everybody too. You know, my joy and my enthusiasm for what I thought was my dream job, and probably was part of my getting submarined. So I haven't reflected quite that far on that. But I did have a flash one day. I was producing a lot of work and a lot of really collaborative work, which is one of my favorite things to do. And I was walking probably to my car. And I don't know if you've been around long enough on this 194 days to know that in my dreams, that my car symbolizes my soul. And so driving my car is me putting my soul on its own journey. So I'm walking to my car, and into my mind flashes this, I don't know how long I can keep doing this. And I thought to myself, oh, that's bad. That's bad mojo, bad omen. How you do, you know. It was myself, some piece of myself, talking to me about that this was not a really life-enhancing situation for me. Even though in my mental mind, it was exactly the situation I thought I had wanted for years and years and years. So, my life is not to give you solutions. I'm supposed to provide the solution. Oh, marketing people say, I have the, you're supposed to teach people the solution. What I have for you are the questions and the desire to journey with you as you find your own solutions. Because I really and truly believe that we all have our own solutions inside of us, that we sometimes can't see them. You know, our own forest is too thick, and we can't see our own path through the trees that we built in our own mind. So that's my rambling, strange and interesting times for today. I will be back tomorrow for day 195. Yep. Can you believe it? 195 days. So take good care of yourselves. Take a deep breath. When you feel like you're not good enough, scan for ease. When you feel like this place, you wish you were a million miles away from that, just scan for ease and take the first step towards the direction that you want to go. You can do it.